First of all, I would like to very much thank the Vested Summit, or like express my gratitude to actually be here. We had the great chance and the invitation to infiltrate the summit a little bit with some expertise from Germany, talking about startups and talking about how academia and startup can work together. For those of you who were not there yesterday, we had there was a short presentation by Dr. Frieda Damm, who represented, the Startup Association, talking a little bit about what are the opportunities for startups in Germany, about regional connections, as well as, what are the measures in order to increase the number of non-Germans or people who are not yet residents in Germany to participate in the startup movements in Germany. And then we had a very interesting talk as well by Natalia Corello, who was talking about her research project in microfinance, which she has turned into a business project, which is now being facilitated by the support of students. So by those two speakers, maybe you can already see a little bit why we are here and why we as the DID are interested in actually participating in an event that talks about entrepreneurship, specifically talking about tech, which is, not my background, so it might sound a bit weird that I'm giving this talk, or it might sound a bit odd to have this here, so this is why I wanted to kind of close the circle and explain that to you. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the DID does, just to give you a background on why we're here, more, and then also on what COSIMENA is and what COSIMENA actually exactly wants. So the DAD, or the DAD, I think it's quite popular, so you've probably heard about it before. It's a self-governing organization of German universities, which makes it a public institution which gets its money from different ministries and different local institutions in Germany, and it represents multiple student bodies and member universities. So it is basically a network of academia that reaches out into the world. As you can see on the next slide, we have 15 regional offices, including the one in Cairo, which is not only the second oldest, but also the second biggest in the world. So we were very proud of that, which also shows that the exchange between the German and the Egyptian science and academia has been great since many, many years, and has, I think, produced a lot of great collaborations. And I mean, I don't want to go too far by saying that, this university is an example of the DID, but it is certainly an example of how well the German and the Egyptian academia is working together, and how really great things can be achieved through that. There is also information centers in 56 more countries, as well as 455 lectures all over the world. A lecture is a lecture from a German university, not necessarily German. I think that's also something interesting, that if we talk about bringing German expertise, that does not necessarily mean that they are German by birth, that does not necessarily mean that they're residents in Germany, but it is expertise that represents the German academia. These lectures teach in different fields, a lot of them in German studies, but also in different ones like tourism, political science, architecture. So they teach in local institutions supported by the DID. So through this, what becomes clear is that the DID strategy, or the DID's motto, is change by exchange. So we really believe in the idea that it is important to send scientists all over the world and get scientists from all over the world into Germany in order to create new research, in order to foster innovation. So which is something that I think is very important if you talk about entrepreneurship, especially in the tech field as well. And the DID has 3 strategic areas of activity. I just quickly want to mention it, so to show, to make it more understandable, is that one of them is the Scholarship for the Best, which really focuses on individual scholarship, so people who want to do their masters, who want to do their PhD abroad. Then there is the Structures for Internationalization, which allow universities in Germany to become more international, but also in other countries to become more international by going into partnerships with German universities and research institutions, as well as the expertise for academic collaboration, which is usually done through workshops, capacity buildings, or actually travels from one country to the other to actually explore the research field there. And I don't want to go too much into all of those, because there's over 250 different programs that the DID offers, so I think you don't want to hear about all of them right now. Hence, I will show you how you can find all the information online. So for individual scholarships, you actually just have to go to our website, did.eg, and then you can enter what is your background. Not to disappoint, but there's not too many programs for master students, so the real target group for us in Egypt is actually starting from the PhD as well as the postdoc. If you are, however, interested in studying in Germany without a scholarship, or with a smaller scholarship from a different German institution than the DRD, you can check out this website, or this short link. Just make sure that this one is actually on our main page. I think I will have to change that short link at some point, because it gets confusing, but this actually shows you all the international programs that are there in case you do not speak German and you still want to explore the German master's programs or bachelor programs. And then in case you are interested in institutional programs, which I was mentioning before, you know, how we want to connect German institutions with Egyptian institutions through, for example, double degree partnerships, double degree masters, or masters that allow you to go for one semester abroad. So there's different ways of institutional partnerships between German and Egyptian institutions. So if you do work in a university, maybe you can explore what possibilities you have. Maybe you have connections to a German university already. Maybe you have done your PhD in a very interesting research institute, and you can actually get in touch with them and say, hey, can we do something together? Can we organize a summer school? Can we organize a workshop for our students? So if you're interested in these kind of collaborations, then I would recommend you to check this website. The third pillar, or the third ball that I was mentioning, which offers capacity building, also shows how the DID is moving towards entrepreneurship and is looking into how to take these new movements of looking for innovation or looking for entrepreneurship actually into the academia, and also like producing it in the end, you know, like getting it out of the university as well, you know, because the research is already oftentimes innovative, but then how do we make it grow on the ground, you know, how do we allow businesses to grow out of university research projects? So in order for that, we just had last year, at the end of the year, a workshop for members of Egyptian universities, or from the MENA region actually, to come and learn about how can we turn the universities more entrepreneurial friendly, how can incubators be started. We had some German universities coming and presenting their strategies to do that. As you might know, the TU Berlin, for example, already has an incubator for startups, and so does many more German institutions, and German universities are starting to invest in that as well. So you can apply at the fallingwalls.com/apply, as well as you have to send a 3-minute video. I don't want to go too much into the details because the call is not open yet. However, I just want you to follow the DID if possible, follow TEEK on Facebook, and check our website so you can see when the next one is announced. I have it actually right here. This is from the last year in Egypt that we organized. This is from the last year, the one that we did in Khartoum. Not Egypt, of course, but Sudan. And this is the timeline for this year. So you might want to remember this. So the next call will supposedly start tomorrow. I will ask my colleague about it. So it's either tomorrow or it's actually next week. And last year, unfortunately, we didn't have a winner for the first place, but our Sudanese winner, Montazer, he got the audience award, so we were very proud of him, of course. So, and now we come to what is actually COSIMENA. Now I've talked a lot about the DID. So COSIMENA stands for Clusters of Scientific Innovation in the Middle East and North Africa. So the idea of that was that we have a vast network of scientists already in Germany and in the Middle East, and they already have a lot of connections, they already have a lot of research projects together, but oftentimes they work in isolation and they don't really communicate. And I think we were talking about this a lot during the conference, is that really the collaboration is really, really vital in order, to foster innovation. So in order to enhance this collaboration, we've decided to come up with 7 issue-driven clusters. So we have these 7 main topics that we concentrate on, and then we organize different networking events in order to showcase all the cooperation that is already happening in that case, and also make scientists who work on these fields, no matter what's their background, to meet. So for example, there could be a startup working on energy, there could be a university professor teaching about energy, there could also be a research project in the university, and they all work on the same topic, but they never meet. So now we make them meet, and then they can actually start a project together, exchange their experiences, exchange the needs that they have in order to bring forward more innovation in the field of science. And we do this through different workshops or conferences or roundtable discussions where we bring together actors from the different from different fields. And we have 3 events which are also, I think, interesting for anyone who's not yet in the DAD database, or who is not yet in a project between Germany and Egypt. So we have the German Science Night on the 24th of May, to which I invite all of you very much. You can find all the details coming up on our Facebook page as well soon, where we are promoting science, where we want to raise the curiosity about science in order for people to actually see the potential that lies into looking at science as something interesting. And not just something complicated that they did in school and they don't want to get in touch with anymore, but really let them experience the different things that are incorporated in science. So we're showing some documentaries in the Malik Cinema. The German Archaeological Institute has a lot of program on cultural heritage, and we will have a mix and match of different of scientists representing all of the clusters that we have. Also on the German Science Day, if you are interested in doing a PhD in Germany, you have the opportunity to talk to a German professor and actually run your idea for a PhD. We have professors coming from 7 different universities in Germany from all different disciplines. So you can pitch to them and basically say, I want to do my PhD on this and this phenomenon in maths. What do I need to change in order for it to be accepted by a German professor? What do I need to change in order to get a funding for this? So you have the opportunity to have one-on-one exchange on that. And then there is a summer school which is happening in Alexandria this year, which is talking about modeling climate change. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in, I think it's called GIS technologies, then I think this could also be very interesting for you, and all the calls will be on our Facebook, and you can get all the information there. Last but not least, everything that I've just said, as well as all the results from our last or past events, you can find them on our website, which is www.dad.eg/COSIMENA, and you find all the information on the different clusters as well, presentations of prior events, as well as a database, which we are still building since COSIMENA was just founded in 2017, and 2 of the clusters were just inaugurated this year. But you can find the profiles for the more established clusters, for the experts who presented, on our website. So if you want to reach out to one of them, if you say, okay, I'm working on water and I need someone who has the expertise on desalination because I have this really great idea, but I'm not really sure if this is going to work, then you can check out the database, you can look at their profiles, say, okay, this is a German professor and an Egyptian professor, they both work on desalination, I'll contact them and run my idea with them. And then there is a picture missing apparently. What we did last year points to a brochure that we have, which sums up everything that we've did last year, which you can find also on our website. And I'm, again, thank you very much for having me, and I hope that it was comprehensive. And if you do have any questions, do not hesitate to approach me once I leave the stage, because I think we're a bit late already, right? Perfect. Thank you so much.